My name is Hannah Plank, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about autism spectrum disorder, especially if you guys are new to education or new in the building, some things you might want to know about it. So, for starters, um, there's a lot of characteristics, okay? Um, there's social, communication, interests, and stress, but the main thing is, even given these characteristics, the disorder in itself is very diverse. It's a spectrum, okay? Um, so not everybody, not all students are going to exhibit the same characteristics each time, okay? They may need different levels of support. You'll hear me talk about two students in particular that we have in the building this year who are on the spectrum. We'll call them Student A and Student B, okay? Student A is in 6th grade, comes to class like normal. Student B needs extra support. He spends half the day at the LCS school in Riverton before coming here. So same diagnosis, totally different kids, but you'll hear me refer to them, and you'll see them around the building. You'll know who they are. As far as socially, one of the main characteristics is they resist human contact. They will not come up and hug you like the other students will. They don't want touched. They won't want to show you things like other students do. They don't pick up on subtle cues, okay? They don't get sarcasm. They don't get body language. They don't get tone, okay? You could give them the look, like all other students would know what that means. They're not going to pick up on it. They're not going to know what that means. They won't make eye contact. They won't look you right in the eye as you're speaking, okay? Just things to keep in mind. Some of them have difficulty with verbal and nonverbal communication, okay? Student B in the 4th grade, nonverbal. He won't speak. He just doesn't. Whereas student A can. He can carry on a great conversation, okay? Again, diverse. It's a spectrum. But because of some of their communication difficulties, sometimes they will have delayed language development, okay? And as anybody can tell you, we all know, language development is foundational for literacy, okay? So a lot of that's going to kind of go hand in hand. A lot of them choose to use behavior over words, okay? They may not be able to say what they're feeling, but you can tell that they're feeling something, okay? Sometimes they will mimic our speech, repetitive, say the same phrases over and over again. It's part of their brain processing, okay? Just ignore it, roll with it, okay? You'll notice they have a very narrow range of things that they're interested in, okay? In fact, it can kind of seem like they're obsessed with this thing, whatever it is. Student A, for instance, he is all about the Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a video game, it's a show, there's graphic novels, okay, anything that has to do with this show, game, thing, he will go on and on and on and on about it, okay? With that, they don't pick up on the fact that the rest of us may not really be that interested in hearing about it, especially if he's already told you the same episode 5 times already. It's just part of it, and you know, it's how they roll. What can happen though is anything else that's not that they see as boring or exclude completely, okay? Something that usually needs help with addressing. When it comes to stress, very low threshold for stress, okay? And they meet it with very high anxiety. They don't know how to deal. They don't know how to cope with minor inconveniences that the rest know, okay? And it can be triggered by the slightest thing, okay? Minor changes in the schedule or a new smell, a new noise, Last year when they were doing construction across the street from the school, oh my goodness, it was a nightmare for the ASD students, okay, because there was a lot of noise, a lot of beeping, okay. Sometimes when they get stressed, they exhibit restrictive or repetitive behaviors, okay. You'll see student A out in the hallway pacing and kind of pulling at his hair, okay. That's part of it. Sometimes they rock. Student B, he'll put his head down on his desk and hide, okay? It's just what they do. It's how they cope, okay? As far as instructional supports, the next few things are going to be just general tips. Ideally, though, the best thing to do is to talk to their teachers, either their current teachers or maybe last year's teacher. The special education director, the resource teacher, and their parents. Their parents are with them when we're not, so they can give us some tips on things that work too, or things to avoid. When it comes to behavior response, some of it can be kind of alarming if you're not used to it. Student A, I told you he was obsessed with this show and this video game. He'll talk about the weapons that they use in that. If you aren't used to what he's talking about, it can be like, whoa, what are you talking about that? Now that we know he's talking about a show, he's talking about a video game, it's not talking about weapons in general. Keep that in mind. It may be a simple need that needs met. Maybe they're hungry, maybe they need to rest. Maybe they're just frustrated and don't understand how to deal with that. If those simple needs aren't met, they act out. So look for that. Keep to a schedule, okay? Fire alarms or assemblies will throw your whole day off. Those are rough days. Otherwise, keep to your schedule, have it posted where they can see it. And also we have procedures in place. How to ask go to the bathroom. How to take your lunch count. Okay, that it's the same things, the same routines every time. Sometimes it helps to have pictures. They understand pictures over words. So maybe with your schedule, you have a picture of lunch, or you have a picture of a book for the library time, or music. The visuals, so they can understand what's going on, and allow them to have some sort of home base or alone time. Student B has a cushion behind the reading center chairs that he can that's his corner, okay? Student A, a lot of times he just goes to the resource room. That's his home base. And he needs a minute, that's where he goes. As far as fostering social interactions, monitor. Okay? They're not good with social. They're not good with communication. And their classmates may not understand what to do either. So make sure you're watching, you're listening, so that they can stay engaged. They're not going to shut down or, jump ship. Guide where need to, give them prompts, give them things, help. And also help their classmates too to understand. That way everybody can be included. To help them communicate, the less stress and pressure they feel, the more likely they are to be able to speak, okay? Some of them prefer to use sign language, or they'll talk with their hands. Some prefer pictures. You point to different faces or emojis to help show what they're feeling, okay? When you're trying to demonstrate how to do a new technique or a new concept, if they can have it in person and hands-on, or like a video tutorial, those usually respond really well. They can pause it, they can watch it over and over and over again until they get it. That, I guess, concludes today's presentation. The main thing to know is if you've got any questions, talk to one of the teachers, talk to their para or anything that they've got, the special education resource teacher, they'll be able to give you the best information that you need. So, thank